everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ella and I'm a 20-year-old doll collector, and if this video has been posted it means I've hit 400 subscribers. So thank you so much for 400 subscribers. But yeah, let's get on with it. But this video is going to be like a 4 or 3-parter because I've had so many people ask me questions and ask me stuff in the comments, ask me stuff on my Instagram, which if you're not following my Instagrams, plural, you need to follow my doll Instagram and my personal Instagram. But yeah, so the first section of this video is going to be pros and cons of being an American Girl doll collector in the UK. I'll start with the pros because there's a lot less of them than the cons. So the first pro is that it's not as hard. Well, it is hard to find American Girl doll stuff over here, but when you do find American Girl doll stuff over here, there's not like a big rush of people trying to get it because hardly anybody knows what American Girl dolls are. So say if I come across a Facebook Market listing of like some Our Generation dolls and there's one random American Girl doll in it and it's just listed as Our Generation or American Girl dolls, then I kind of have like first dibs. Obviously there are people in the UK that collect American Girl dolls more than me, and I'll get onto that later, but it's like it's easier to get a hold of stuff when there is stuff, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does, but there's not as much competition for collectors. So like say there's so many groups in America, like secondhand groups, and there's so many listings on Facebook Marketplace and there's so many bidders on eBay on every single listing, whereas in the UK that's not the case. There's only like a small amount of people who are actually wanting to pay the prices for American Girl doll stuff, or who are trying to get the good deals of stuff that's been listed wrong or listed in an area where nobody knows what American Girl dolls are. So that's definitely one of the pros, and I've actually experienced that many times. I bought quite a few of my dolls off eBay or Facebook Marketplace and they were either listed wrong or just nobody was interested because nobody knows what they are because it's such a small group of people. And yeah, so I got some good deals on my dolls, and if you want to know more about that, make sure you watch my full American Girl doll collection video because I go into detail of where I got all my dolls from. Next pro, which I guess it probably just goes into what I've just said, is that sometimes they're cheaper than the US, and this really varies. So there's the group of people who know exactly what they're talking about. They know what American Girl dolls are, they know how things should be priced, they know what goes with what. And then there's the people who go to America, their kids like dolls, they buy a doll, they buy a couple of outfits, a couple of years later they sell them either on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or anywhere like that, and they don't really know how much to sell them for, or they remember how much they paid for them and think, okay, I need to rack up the prices, and then end up being in the same category as the people who put the prices up. So sometimes you can find some really good deals over here because people just don't know how much to charge, or they just want to get rid because they've had it in their house a long time and they just see it as like it's just a doll or just doll clothes. Like there's been a few times that I've seen listings of just like various doll clothes and it's not listed as anything to do with American Girl doll, but because I know how to like spot American Girl doll stuff, I can tell that some of the clothes in that bundle are American Girl dolls. American Girl doll. But yeah, so sometimes you can get some really good cheap stuff, but then other times it's really expensive, and there's no really in the middle. Like I feel like there's the people who know what they're talking about, and then there's the people who just are getting rid of it because they don't want it anymore. One of the small pro is if you get the opportunity to go to America and go to an American Girl doll store, I feel like it feels a lot more exciting and a lot better than it would be if you just live in the US and you go to an American Girl doll store. But obviously there's not a store in every state, so people live quite far away from a store so they don't get to go, and like a few people only get to go like a couple times in a lifetime, but it's still more accessible, especially when you get older. It's easier to get to and a lot cheaper to get to because flights from here to the US are not cheap. So yeah, that's a pro, and I have actually been lucky enough to go to the store twice and it was amazing. Now on to cons, the negatives of being an American Girl doll collector. I hope you're sitting comfy. Yeah, because this is quite a long list. I've got a list in front of me. The first con is just the basic one, actually getting a hold of American Girl dolls. There's so many different routes that you can go for this. All of them are either very expensive or very time consuming or just a lot of work. So if you're in the US, you're probably just like, well, I can either order from AG itself, get from a secondhand like group on Facebook Marketplace, Macari I think is a thing over there, like all these different places. You have secondhand American Girl doll stores, you have booths in antique shops, you have whole shops just for secondhand toys and they have American Girl doll stuff in them, whereas over here there's nothing at all. So the way that I get a hold of my dolls, and I'll be touching on this a lot more in a different section of the video, so make sure you stay to the end, especially if you're from the UK, because I have a lot of little secret things that I know about, but a lot of other people. Anyway, so one of the ways that we can get a hold of dolls is if you know someone in America or you have family in the US, and you can get them to either go to the store and post it to you, or get it delivered to them and then post it on to you. But with this, obviously shipping from the US to the UK is ridiculous pricing. Like if I was to send something from here to America, it's not that bad, but if for some reason from the US to here it's stupidly expensive. Maybe it's a conversion rate, I don't know, but I'm not an expert on these things. So yeah, that's one way that you can do it, but again, it's very expensive, it takes a lot of time, and you have to go through customs, and sometimes you have to pay a customs fee if it's not marked down as a gift, and it's just very complicated. Another way to do it is if you know anyone who is going to America and has room in their suitcase, then ask them. But obviously that's very like, you have to be either close to the person or they have to be willing to do that for you. And I'm actually lucky enough that my flatmate goes to America quite a lot because her boyfriend lives there, so she helps me out and she's like my American Girl doll dealer basically. So shout out to you, Soph and Taylor, if you're watching. So yeah, and then another way is obviously you can get them on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Like I was saying, sometimes you can just randomly come across them. Like I am constantly checking like all the resale groups and eBay for anything American Girl doll that's in my price range, because you just have to be like checking it constantly to actually find the good deals. And I have found quite a good amount of stuff on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace it's kind of like, I don't know, like it depends where you are. If you're down south, I've found that there's a lot more listings down south, and I think that's just because they have the money to go abroad and get the stuff, whereas us up north don't. But I don't know. So if you are looking, set your location to somewhere down south and you get a lot more listings, but the only problem is nobody is willing to post. So that's the annoying thing. But I've convinced a couple of people to post, but there's been so many good bundles and so many good deals where obviously I can't drive, so I couldn't drive down south to get them, and they're not willing to post, and so I've missed out. Just hard to try and find someone that's willing to post or one that's near you. Like if you ever find, my nan actually found someone who lived down the road from her that was selling Leah, and she got her for a good price and she was literally brand new, and it's crazy. No off-brand dolls I've wrote down, and by this I mean, so in the US that I know of, you guys have like, is it My Life? You have that, you have Jenny Girls, I don't know if that's still a thing. But yeah, you have like off-brand versions of 18-inch dolls where you can get the accessories and you can get the play sets and you can get the clothes and they fit with American Girl dolls. Well, over here we don't have that, but again, I will get onto the off-brand versions that we do have. They're just not very good in the next section. So yeah, like getting a hold of anything that would like fit American Girl dolls is very hard over here, whereas in the US obviously you can just go to Target or Walmart and more than likely they'll have something. Next topic is not having American Girl doll friends, and this is probably the saddest one, because so many people that I know on YouTube or on Instagram, or I'm in groups of them, they've all had the chance to like meet up at the American Girl doll store, and they're friends, and they have friends, like in real life friends, that are interested in American Girl dolls and like American Girl dolls, and don't find it weird that we're 20 years old and we collect dolls. Whereas in the UK, nobody knows what American Girl dolls are, and finding someone who, one, is in the same like age as you, because a lot of American Girl doll collectors over here are like 40 plus. There's no one really my age. But I did meet someone on Instagram actually, and we feel like we're the only ones that are out there in the UK. So if you're watching this and you collect American Girl dolls and you're from the UK and you're like 25 and under, message me on Instagram. But anyway, yeah, so we miss out on like being able to go to the American Girl doll store in general, but like with friends and like doing all of that stuff, because there's no one over here that, oh, my mom's just entered. But yeah, no one knows what American Girl dolls are, so why would they be into it? And then why would they somehow live near you or know to find your Instagram or something like that? I don't know, it's complicated, but you know what I mean. People thinking our generation is American Girl doll. This isn't really like a con, it's just something, like, it's like a pet peeve of mine. So like I was saying, on she's playing with my earmuffs. But yeah, on Facebook Marketplace, sometimes this can work in your favour. People will list big massive bundles of our generation stuff and be like, American Girl doll clothes, and put the price up because they think it's American Girl doll. Excuse me. Because they think it's American Girl dolls, and I feel like this is just like they've gone to their kid and their kid wanted an American Girl doll, so they gave her an Our Generation doll, and then when they've come to sell it they've been like, what are these dolls called again? And the kid's been like, oh, they're American Girl dolls, and then they put the price up like stupidly. Or like if you search on eBay and put the location to strictly the UK and search American Girl doll stuff, half of it is just Our Generation stuff that people are trying to list as American Girl doll stuff, which is just more annoying than like actually being a negative thing. The next thing is being a teen collector, which again I've already kind of touched on this, but like this is a thing everywhere, where like obviously, well, I'm not even a teen anymore, I'm technically an adult, but yeah, so I collect dolls and people think straight, oh my god, she plays with dolls, oh she plays with them, where I don't play with them. I like to brush their hair, put them on shelves, change their outfits, make them look cute, take pictures of them, make videos of them. Like, it's just the same as you guys like buying makeup. So you'd spend a lot of money on makeup and you play with makeup and stuff like that. Or you like Pokemon cards, or you like, I don't know, stuff like that. It's normal. So it's just an annoying thing. But again, that's not strictly just the UK. It's just because no one knows what American Girl dolls are over here, they think it's even weirder when you're like, oh yeah, I collect American Girl dolls. They're like, what? Like, why are you spending so much money on dolls from America? Like, I don't know. But again, it's just something that's more annoying. Feeling left out of the community. So again, I already spoke about it, but I feel so left out in all these groups. So I joined the American groups just because I'm nosy and I like to see what's going on, and I like to see just American Girl doll stuff on my timeline. So I'm in so many American Girl doll groups on Facebook, and like people do like purges where they'll like just list a load of stuff at once and it's really cheap, and I'm like, oh my god, I literally need that, I want that, I want that, I want that. And obviously I can't get any of it because no one will ship to the UK, which is fair enough because postage is stupidly expensive. But yeah, so I just feel left out. And then the same with like people that get to meet up together, and people who, like, recently I'm filming this after New Year's and everyone got to go to the launch for the new Girl of the Year, and I was sat here like, well, yeah, so it was a bit sad, but I get over it. The next section I'm going to be talking about is that I wrote this down as the American Girl wannabes, and this is basically rip-off versions of American Girl dolls that we have in the UK, but there's only 3, because one of them you guys have in the US if you're watching from the US, And the other two are just funny. Obviously there's our generation, but they have that pretty much everywhere, I guess now. Our generation is good. Like, if you like some of the outfits is cute, I've got the wardrobe, and like the accessories are cute, and we can get that in like this big toy store called Smith's, and we can get it in like supermarkets now, I think, and like toy shops. So we can get our generation stuff pretty much everywhere, which only started happening like recently. Like, when I was like into playing with my dolls, you couldn't get anything from an American Girl doll size, like not one thing. So I'm glad that now our generation's become a bigger thing over here, and there's so much stuff now, and you can actually order from the Our Generation website to your home in the UK. So that's pretty good. That's not really a bad thing, but these next two are quite funny. So we also have this 18-inch doll line called Designer Friend, and I'll insert some pictures and stuff. And they are 18-inch dolls, but they're very, very skinny, and they have a soft torso, but they just don't have as much. I'll try to find a picture, and if I have found a picture then you will be seeing it. But they have a very like curvy body, and they fall over, like they can't stand up like American Girl dolls can stand up, and their clothes are very, very small, so they don't fit American Girl doll. And their legs are also like, they're not made the same way American Girl dolls are, or Our Generation. They're like just plastic and like slotted in, so you can't bend them as well, and you can't, their feet like come in like this. So, and they also have very small feet, so their shoes don't fit American Girl dolls. And their hair is really, really bad quality, like even worse than Our Generation. So I'm sorry if anyone is watching this that likes Designer Friend, but I'm not a fan, sorry. They have some cute clothes. They have some really cute clothes, but it's just so sad they don't fit American Girl dolls, so I'm not interested, I'm sorry. And they also have some cute play sets and like furniture, which do fit our American Girl dolls, but again, they're also decent prices, but they only stock those in Argos's, which I don't think is even a thing in America. Mama's got the zoomies, but yeah, so there's Designer Friend, and Designer Friend was founded not quite recently, but 2011. So I had already kind of like grown out of playing with my dolls by then. So again, I didn't have any of this when I was actually playing with my dolls and wanted stuff to like play with them, if that makes sense. And then the last one, which I find the funniest, and I will insert pictures as to why. It's called My London Girl. And if you've not heard of this, basically they were founded in 2010, and they opened their first shop in 2012, but it closed down in 2015. But they're slowly making a comeback, and they actually have an online shop now, and they have an eBay, which isn't under the My London Girl logo or branding, but it is all their stuff, and the link sends you to the website, so it's a bit weird. But anyway, so My London Girl was actually a thing when I was into my dolls, because I was still playing with them, but not as much. So I actually went on a trip to London, and I went to the store with my doll, and the first interaction I came to was in Hamleys. They stocked the dolls, and I'll insert pictures of the dolls. They are literally the exact same as American Girl dolls. They just have different face molds, and the face molds make them look a lot cheaper, but the hair quality is the same. And I remember I picked up one of the dolls and I was like, oh my god, it's an American Girl doll. And then I read the box and I was like, oh, My London Girl. So yeah, and I really wanted to get one, but they were about £80, which obviously is expensive for a doll, and it's not American Girl. So my parents were like, well, no, it's just like a knockoff version, like why would you pay that much? And so I convinced them to go to the store, because a woman told us that the clothes are a lot cheaper and they fit 18-inch dolls. So I was like, can we please go? Because like this was at the point where I was like, I just need something for my dolls. So we went to the store, and it was actually like a really nice shop, and they they sell dolls, but they also sell baby dolls, and they also sell clothes for kids, and they also sell like bears. And well, at this time, I think I went in like 2011, but yeah, so we went and I got some shoes. This is what I got from the store. I got these little, see, it says My London Girl, these little sandals, and they have like sparkly butterflies. They have like worn down a lot because I have had them since like 2011. Yeah, and those shoes are about £6, I think, which is it's not that bad for shoes, and at this point I was desperate. I also got these little frilly socks, which are actually really cute, and I've used these a lot, and these are only £2, so that's why my mum was like, you can get these, and that's it. But yeah, everything else is very expensive. I think the clothes were like £30, which again is like American Girl doll prices, but because it wasn't American Girl, I was like, well, I don't want to be paying them prices. And at this point, all my dolls are just in homemade stuff anyway, so yeah. But My London Girl is a lot better now. The prices are a lot better. I think it's like £14 for an outfit, and they are good quality. Well, it kind of varies. Some of their stuff is really, really good quality, but then other stuff is stuff that's come from AliExpress, and I don't know how. I don't know, but you know, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. So yeah, I would recommend checking out the My London Girl website, and I'm going to talk about that again at the end of the video. But yeah, they seem to be making a comeback, so I guess good for them. Okay, next section is the Q&A section. So I'm in a group chat on Facebook with a lot of American Girl doll collectors from the US, and they had a lot of questions to ask me, and I also put this on my Instagram story, and I had a few questions submitted through there, so I thought I'd answer them. So the first question is, do I plan on getting the retired historical doll Emily because she is British? And this question was actually, this is like such a good question, because I find it crazy that she's the only British American Girl doll. Like, that's pretty cool. But I don't plan on getting her because my nan actually has her, and I mean, she's a cute doll, but I'm not really like that in love with her. Because my nan already has her, I think like I don't need her for my collection. But it's cool that she is British. Like, got some representation in there. Next question is, how do you feel about the American Girl doll London outfit, which is this, if you don't know? I think it's cute. I think the tartan like print though, it gives me like Scottish vibes more than British vibes. And the hat, I feel like is quite British. But yeah, I wouldn't buy it, but I'm very picky when it comes to doll clothes. I think it's cute, but it's also not very like British colours. Like, it's very red, I feel like, but it's better than some of the outfits. So are you able to get cheap second-hand items like we are in the States at thrift stores and resale sites? So I've already basically spoke about this. No, but I did happen to find a Pleasant Company Addy doll and a mini Kit doll in an antique shop over here like last year, and it still boggles my brain as to how she ended up there, and like the fact that I found her, like, she was £30. Wait, no, I got her for like £26, I think it was. So she was a bargain, especially for Pleasant Company, and she's in like good condition. She just has quite loose limbs. But yeah, I couldn't believe that I found that. That's the only time I found something wild, something American Girl doll in the wild. I have found American Girl doll books in a charity shop before, and I've literally been back to that charity shop every time I pass it, because I'm thinking, if they had the books, they must have had the dolls, because they're the books that came with the old Truly Me and the historical dolls. So, and there was also a Grace cooking book I found in a charity shop. So yeah, but still no dolls in sight from that charity shop, but I'll keep you updated. Do you read / enjoy learning about American history through the books? So I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like reading. I'm dyslexic, so reading's never been a thing for me. But I've read a few of their books when I didn't read the historical books. I read like the tips on growing up and stuff like that books when I went to the store because I was waiting for my mum. So I just sat in the little, they used to have in the American Girl doll store in New York, they used to have a little book section. It was like a little circular couch. So I sat there and I read a few. But yeah, and I would like to learn about American history. I feel like it's quite cool, and I did learn it quite a bit when I actually went to New York because we went to a few museums, but not through the books exactly. But I think it's good that they still come with the books because I really feel like they're going to slowly start doing that, and they're going to be just a little QR code on the box and it's going to be like, scan this to learn about your doll. Which I hope they don't, because I feel like the whole thing about American Girl doll is that it would come with a book where you can learn about your doll. But I don't know. The next question is, how did you get into collecting with being from the UK? So I think the first time I ever saw an American Girl doll was definitely on YouTube, and it was either from My Froggy Stuff or the Mummy and Gracie show. I used to love those two YouTube channels, and I think it was either from one of them because they would make like, well, My Froggy Stuff would make like no-sew clothes or like furniture for American Girl dolls, and then Mummy and Gracie would do like hauls, like very rarely, of American Girl doll stuff. So I think it was from them, and then because I was watching all the videos that were American Girl doll related, YouTube then opened my eyes to American Girl doll stop motion, and that's when I first found like Anna Basil Mentos and Mixie Pixie 7, and then that's when my mind was like, oh my god, what are these dolls, like I need them. So that was probably when I was about like 9 or 10, and then from then I used to make American Girl doll bedrooms, but I didn't have any of the dolls. I didn't have any 18-inch dolls at all. I used to turn my whole room into like American Girl doll houses, ready for the day that I get my American Girl doll. And my mum was literally, she would tell me like, it's not gonna happen, like they're from America, they're only over there, they're very expensive, like we can't afford one, and like we can't get one. And I remember, because I have American family, like my cousins live in America, and I remember them coming over once, and I was just obsessed with the fact that like they could go to the American Girl doll store if they wanted to, and they just don't, like. But anyway, and then I first got my first doll from eBay with some Christmas money that I had, and it was actually, she's in her New Year's outfit, but it was actually Bella, and she was £70, which is actually quite expensive for American Girl doll in this country, especially at the time, because there was like no American Girl dolls on eBay, so maybe that's why she was expensive. But yeah, and she's still going strong, and she's my oldest girlie. She's like 10 years old now. I did get a catalogue from my cousins. They sent me one over before I got a doll, and I remember like literally reading it every single second of the day. And I wouldn't circle anything in it because I just wanted to keep it like pristine. And it was like when American Girl doll was at like its best, I feel like, with like Inner Star U and all of that stuff, and I was just obsessed. You know a lot of UK AG collectors, so again, I've already spoke about this, but no, so me and my nan collect American Girl dolls, and my sister has always kind of been into them, been out of them. Like, I think she liked them because I had them and we used to play together, but she had Our Generation and Designer Friend because she was not bothered, like she liked them. But she actually got her first American Girl doll for Christmas, so maybe we're going to become a big family of American Girl doll collectors. 3 years ago, I'd say, we found this group on Facebook, and it was for American Girl doll UK collectors. And it's pretty much old women in there who are retired, and they like to collect either like porcelain dolls, and then they've came across American Girl dolls and they like making them like big fancy dresses, and they only collect the historical dolls, which was great because that's what my nan did. So she found her little community, but for me there was nobody my age that was on there, and there still isn't, apart from one which I actually only found recently, and we've literally been messaging on Instagram and we've been like, oh my god, I think we're the only people in this country that are our age and collect American Girl dolls, which is crazy. There's definitely more people out there. And then the last question is, where are places / ways that you can buy American Girl doll stuff? And this brings me on to my last section, which if you're from the UK, this will be very good for you, but also if you're from the US, you might be intrigued as to, yeah, where do I buy my stuff from? So the first place is obviously eBay, Vinted, Depop, Marketplace. Very rarely, more eBay to be fair, but you can find some good stuff on there. You just have to be like at it, and especially in like Vinted and Depop, they never normally are listed as American Girl doll stuff. So like 18-inch doll or doll clothes, or you just have to do a lot of scrolling basically. And I've got AliExpress on here, which isn't a very, it's not a good way to buy doll clothes because obviously it's not the best, but when you're desperate and you're in the UK and there's no other way, they do have a lot of 18-inch clothes on there, a lot of rip-offs actually of actual American Girl doll outfits. Then there's Argos, which I talked about, which is designer friend Smiths for our generation. And then on to the more of like websites, independent businesses that either stock 18-inch doll stuff or actual American Girl doll stuff. So there's frillylily.com, and they do, all of these will be linked down below by the way. They do clothes for 18-inch dolls, they do like shoes, socks, underwear, like the necessities. Next one is My Doll Collection, and they actually stock American Girl dolls and American Girl doll stuff. Not everything, mostly just like the main like historical dolls, some Truly Me, and then a couple outfits. The only thing is with this, obviously they're imported from the US and then they just send them straight to your house. So the prices are like a lot higher. The next one that stocks actually American Girl doll stuff is Simon's Collectibles, even though I have heard that apparently he's going to stop stocking actual American Girl doll stuff, but as of now there are still stuff on the website, and he actually has some stuff that I've seen in the American groups that people are actually like trying to get a hold of and can't, so check it out. He also does good sales. My Doll Best Friend, which is literally where I got all my stuff from when I first started collecting, they mostly stock like Sophia's, and then just like, I don't even know where they get their stuff from, but like off-brand stuff. Again, they're good for like shoes, socks, tights, underwear. So yeah, that is everywhere that I know of. If you know somewhere else, comment down below because I would definitely like to know. And yeah, thank you for watching my video. I hope it's been very informative, and thank you so much for 400 subscribers. My goal for this year is to hit 1,000, so we're basically halfway there. But yeah, it means a lot, so thank you. Comment down below if you have any more questions and I'll answer in the comments. I hope you have a nice day from me and Julie. Thanks for watching.